NYYST. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York. Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course, SGR. This is New York. Yankee sports talk, homie, New York. Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine. Grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST. You're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back to episode 281 of NYYST podcast. We are live on NYYNewsTV. I am your host, Christian, and as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You?
And it's SGR.
But it's a lot of NYYs for you.
I know.
I feel like you're overwhelmed by the NYYs.
It's a lot of NYYs there. Speaking of the NYYs won today. 1-0. They took the series against the Texas Rangers. Not a pretty series. We'll get into it in a hot minute. How's the fellas doing? Were we all together last week? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we were.
I don't think I was I here last week? I don't think I was here last week.
No,
we
you
weren't.
weren't.
I wasn't.
No, okay. We sent you on assignment last week.
I was on assignment. But I'm back this week feeling good. You know, as long as the Yankees are winning. SGR's feeling good. No, not even refreshed. All depends on how the Yankees are doing. And right now they're doing good. So SGR's doing good.
I feel like today it was one of those days where they won, but they lost at the same time. It's just like you don't feel good about a 1-0 victory against the Texas Rangers. I don't know. The Yankees did take 2 out of 3 over the weekend. They got rained out Friday. They got rained out Saturday. They split a doubleheader on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, especially the one that mothered my child.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to everyone.
To Ryan's mom, for sure. Happy Mother's Day to Ryan's mom.
Okay, and also to Christian's mom, definitely his mother. Happy Mother's Day. Okay.
Do we have
My
to
mom
wish
might be
Chris,
watching right now, by the way.
Do we have to wish Chris's mom Happy Mother's Day or just Ryan's mom?
I wanted you to incriminate yourself a little more because I think she is watching right now.
Big Ro?
I think so. I'm not positive. It's not your mother. My mother's watching.
Bro, if you're watching,
she can't be my mom this whole time and then you say hello, mom. It doesn't work that way. You say hi, bro.
You got to
Mrs. Stacy.
You got to keep the illusion, like Kane and the Undertaker are actually brothers. You know, you got to keep the illusion.
Right. Yeah.
You want me to get to the bookkeeping, or you want to?
Do you have a fucking cat in the background?
Is there a cat?
Oh yeah.
Is there a cat?
That's a cat.
That's actually the one cat I actually like. I think.
That's the
do you want me to go through bookkeeping? Or you want to talk about the 1-0 win real quick?
No, go ahead. Do the bookkeeping. Okay. All
right. First and foremost, I'd say head over to. I know we have it pinned to the top of our Twitter page at NYYST_podcast. The event coming up on June 25th. It'll be here before we know it already. We have a bunch of people coming. I don't know how many tickets are still left at this point.
We got a bus. Okay.
We have a bus. Okay. We have a bus. Okay. It's going to be. It's something I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be an amazing time.
I can confirm that she's not watching. She's reading with a lib. I'm sorry, Leah.
Oh, yeah, not a lib. It's not a lib. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great time. 90 minutes before the game, we get the party deck reserved for us. You get a nice little wristband, free beers, free food, and some chicken tenders. That's where you make your money back. You make all your money back there, and then we get to watch the game together in the same section.
You got beers, hot dogs,
and Jose Altuve.
Hamburger. Hamburgers.
Okay, hot dog.
Is there going to be a condiment bar? You know, like there's going to be pickles, onions, fresh relish.
I think there should be. I don't know how Brian Cashman feels about condiments on his.
No, we will have the whole section lined up for you, waiting with the ketchup. You'll have relish, mustard, yellow, golden, whatever you need. We'll take
spicy brown.
Will it be Heinz or will it be like the ShopRite brand?
That is classified information. We have our own special brand that we use, but further on those details, you'll have to wait and see the day of.
Did you not know that they use Mike's Amazing? That's their brand.
Okay,
It's a
yes,
brand.
I
It's a
do.
brand to be
Yes, I
named
do.
later.
Brand
Yes,
to be
I do.
named later.
Mike is amazing.
It's a brand to be
Okay.
named later. All right.
Okay.
Also, head over to patreon.com/NYYST if you want to help
Okay.
support the show, become a patron.
Okay. Yeah.
And
support the
of
show.
course,
Okay.
if you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, take a second, subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review. And last but not least, subscribe to the NYY News TV YouTube channel because every show is just top notch. If you want real talk and just fucking getting it for what it is, I'd say
you're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it hard. You'll get it
You're
real
gonna
hard.
get hard.
It's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard. So hit that like button on this video, subscribe. We are live right now. I know people have complexes. They don't know if it's a premiere or if it's live. This is live. I'm reading your chats.
Yeah.
We thank good chat and
good chat.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for being a friend.
Okay.
Thank you for being a friend.
So Tuesday night. Okay. All right. So Tuesday night, Yankees just won their 11th game, and Michael K was like, all they do is win, win, win. And then I wanted to literally commit murder, because after the Yankees won their 13th game in a row last year, he decided that was a fun thing to say. And then the Yankees then went on a 3-12 stretch. So what happened after Michael K proclaimed that after the 11th straight win? The Yankees lost the next night. They lost a very frustrating game. I believe it was 2-1 against Kikuchi. That was the best game Kikuchi pitched so far this season. The Yankees are going to see him again, maybe tomorrow, I believe. I got to look at the pitching matchups. But he's definitely
going to see that Kikuchi tomorrow?
He is pitching in this 2-game series against Toronto. The Yankees didn't completely avoid the Michael K curse, but they did manage to sidestep it a little bit, because after they lost on Wednesday night, we had rain, just fucking miserable weather here in the Northeast. On Friday and Saturday, I was supposed to go to the game Saturday. I was fucking pissed that it rained.
That sucks.
Yeah, I haven't been to. I was just thinking about this. Is that I've been to one Yankee game since my 36th birthday, which is wild considering that I used to go like every other day.
Wow. I'm going Wednesday, actually. It'll be the first time in 2 years.
Oh, nice.
You're going Wednesday. It's a day game. You know that, right? It's a 12:30 start.
Correct. Thanks.
I'm making it work because knowing you, bro, you'd be rolling up there at 5:30 expecting the game to be played. And
you forget I have a wife. You forget I have a wife.
Okay. Well,
she's actually the one who got the tickets.
I shot the tickets. Well, my wife got the tickets for this game on Saturday. Okay, so SMD, bro. You want to start?
SGR.
Anyway, so they played a doubleheader on Mother's Day. The Yankees won 2-1, and the opener, Gleyber Torres hit a little league home run, according to Chris Woodward, and then they lost 4-2 in the nightcap, and then they won 2-. They won actually 1-0 today. So I guess we could start here. Let's just take 2 minutes and say what a fucking bitch Chris Woodward is. Okay, let's just go there.
Yeah, you know what? I like it though. I like it, and I'll tell you why.
I don't like. Oh, you want to get started? You want to start? Okay, you can
how
start.
many?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to start real quick.
Okay,
how many of these comments have we heard so far this year?
Literally
just this year
every time,
alone.
Literally every time a home run's hit out to right field.
So you know what's funny to me? It just made me realize that the Yankees are on top of baseball right now. And it feels good, even if it's temporary. Who knows? Hopefully it's not. It feels good to be hated again. It feels good to see the resentment of other teams and other managers and all these idiots who mean nothing. You're the manager of the Rangers, dude. Your kids are embarrassed to tell people what you do for a living. And you have to sit here on national television and talk about our stadium? No one shows up to your fucking stadium because you're a joke. You're nothing but... They used your stadium for the playoffs because it was safe to assume
that you weren't going to be
there. How's that? You play at a neutral stadium.
Okay.
So I love it because it makes me able to see that the Yankees are hated again right now, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's
Yeah.
not temporary.
That's a good point, though, Chris, because when they're good or when they're not doing so great, they'll just criticize the team. But when they are doing great, well, let's just go right after the
We've
stadium.
had how many Yankee attacks so far? We've had two on the stadium, 2 legit ones on the stadium.
We're
You
gonna
had the
attack.
shit. You had the shit with Straw, where he says
Yeah,
we're the worst
straw
fan
attack.
base in baseball. The straw attack.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
straw.
the
Okay.
paper straw attack.
the
Okay.
last straw they call it.
They call it the last straw.
Okay.
And so just these guys are clearly, they have a lot of resentment built up because the Yankees are a team that isn't losing.
Can we orchestrate a trade? Can Miles Straw go back to the Astros for June 25th? Can you do that? Can we arrange that to happen?
Absolutely.
Might be able to make some calls as Brian Cashman.
Okay. You should do that.
You actually probably you
We're gonna need you to send Miles Straw and that deal back to Houston. We'll take one of your guys, but yeah, definitely have Straw back in Houston for the 25th.
I think if you could figure out another GM's phone number, that impression is good enough to get over on another GM.
I'll get a GM's phone number.
I'll get a GM's phone number.
If you have any deadline moves that you want to make, just send a comment over, and we'll try to make it happen for you. That's what we do here, NYYST.
All right. So the funny part about Woodward's bitching and moaning about the Woodward wine. I think somebody called him Wineward today. Wineward. The funny thing is that when Cole Calhoun touched up Gerrit Cole in the 7th inning, that ball traveled less than Gleyber Torres' home run.
Right.
And you really want to talk about Little League short porch home runs. The one that Eli White hit in the second game, I think it was only a home run in 2 or 30 stadiums. So, I mean, if you're gonna complain about it when you lose, why, be fair, you little bitch, say, hey, we won because we hit a Little League home run today. Okay.
Make a ballpark that caters to your team's needs, or
build a team that caters to the ballpark.
That's the thing, right? Exactly. That's what a lot of teams did with these newer ballparks. I think the Mets, it didn't work out with Jose Reyes, but they kind of built Citi Field with a Jose Reyes type in mind, with an open field in the outfield. Build a different stadium. Then you just built one in Texas. That's that ballpark for the Yankees. The Yankees are primarily a right-handed hitting team, and yet they're taking advantage of right field because their players go the opposite way. Going the opposite way is not, clearly with the shifts in baseball, is not an easy thing to do. So they're taking advantage of their dimensions.
It's just weak, bro. Just like I'm tired of hearing about it. It's fucking weak. I mean, the stadium's been up for fucking 10 years already. Like, get over it. Like, this is the thing that amazes me is that these people think that the fences get pushed back when their team is up, and then they pull them forward when the Yankees are up. But
exactly,
it's just a whiny bitch move. The Yankees managed to get a win today. I saw the end of the game. It didn't look like they played great defense out in the outfield there. That they allowed that ball to drop in. Rizzo hit, and then Judge scored from first. The Yankees came away with a 1-0 victory. The reason why they were able to hold the Rangers down is because Nestor Cortes went into the 8th inning throwing a fucking no-hitter. I mean, I think I got to take back everything I've ever said about this guy, because now he has done the one thing that you kind of were worried that he couldn't do, and that's go deep into a game. He went into the 8th. He threw over 100 pitches today, so he's cleared that hurdle. You need to see how he's going to bounce back from it, but I mean, are we ready to say that he's the fucking real deal now?
Yeah, and beyond that, you always love to see a guy bounce back after he's had a shaky start. He clearly didn't have his command his last outing. You're kind of still waiting for Nestor Cortes to come back down to reality, and he went out there today, and not only did he bounce back, he threw the best game of his career. Went into, like you said, into the 8th inning. Who knows? See, here's the thing. We got to start trying to differentiate between how long can Nestor Cortes go normally and how quick of a leash do the Yankees have on him and preventing him from doing that. Because who knows what inning Boone would have pulled him if this was a 0-0 game without the no-hitter going. We don't know. Maybe it's not fair, though, to put it all on Cortes that he can't go deep in a game. Maybe it's that the Yankees just haven't let him.
Yeah, okay, that's not a bad point. And I think today's the clear point that they're
right. So he can do it. I mean, it's clear. It's not like he was in the 8th inning with only 70 pitches. He was over 100 pitches, right? He got up over 100.
Yes.
So I just think I think you have to go back, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think you should go back to that Rizzo ball because you're right. Off the bat, it looked like it shouldn't have split the outfielders, but it actually ended up carrying, and I don't think that was a catchable ball at all.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the way they played it. I think they played that into a double, and they played it into letting Judge score. That's the way.
Judge on set. Judge was on first.
First with one out too, so he wasn't even going.
I turned it on. I turned it on right as the ball was hit, and it was Sterling's call.
No, it was 2 outs.
Speaking of John Sterling, he's gotten so bad now
that
even when there's nothing to mess up, he messes up. He
read off the wrong
score. He read off the wrong scoreboard the other night.
Whoa, I did, yeah. Wrong
he started to ask when the Yankees scored or when or when the Rangers scored, and he was reading the wrong scoreboard.
Of all.
Wow, damn.
I listened to the majority of the game on the radio today, and he seemingly would go out of his way to mention that Nestor Cortes was throwing a no-hitter. Like every other sentence was like, "Oh, Susan, Nestor Cortes is throwing a no-hitter today." After he strike out a guy, and he's like, "Well, that's his 8th strikeout." And if you didn't know, Nestor Cortes is throwing a no-hitter today, and it's just like,
so
okay,
you didn't watch the game at all? Did you hear K at all today?
I caught the game right in the top of the 8th inning. I
everyone watching this right now or listening, just take note of something because it's on a different level this year. The second Aaron Boone got someone warming up, even though the no-hitter was still intact, Michael K took every opportunity to discuss why this wasn't a bad move. Like he brought it up 10 different times and just justified anything you can in any way you possibly could to defend Boone and the Yankees and the Yankees organization.
Not for nothing though. And I know he was still throwing a no-hitter at the time. He had just walked 2 guys in a row in the 7th inning, right? Am I thinking of it right? He had walked 2 guys in the 7th inning. I was saying you got to get him out of the game at that point because it's 0-0. I mean, you got to try to win this game more than you need to get Nestor Cortes a no-hitter. So
it's a shame that it even had to be thought about because the offense couldn't just break the game open.
Right. I understand that. But, I mean, to me, winning the game is more important than a no-hitter. And after he walks the second guy, I was very surprised that Boone didn't go and get him. He let him go and get out of the inning, and then he brought him back for the 8th. So, I mean,
and kudos to them, man. You got to give credit where it's due. We rip Boone and the organization all the time. Hey, I'm glad you let him go, man.
I'll even give Michael K some credit because he went to bat for the Yankees and was ripping Woodward apart on Twitter today. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he couldn't help himself all day.
Yeah, because Cashman had a talking with Mr. K. He better not be critical.
Michael, it's getting a bit harsh.
He's talking about he was ripping Woodward. Like
I know, but K used to rip the Yankees in the offseason.
Yeah,
in off seasons, he's ripped them before, big time.
Sure,
he's not allowed to anymore.
Well, talking K.
But since you brought up the K curse, which is what it is, I think that plays into why we aren't as optimistic about these wins. Like after winning 11 straight games, and they had off 3 days in a row with the rain and the off day. You would say maybe they just have a little rust they have to shake off, fell out of their rhythm, whatever. They still, even as shitty as the offense looked, managed to win 2 out of 3. But it's the K curse that just makes you sit. It just doesn't sit well with you. That they could only score how many runs over the last 3 games? 4?
No, they scored 6 runs in their last 4 games, I believe.
Okay, in the last 3 games, I said.
Well, I'm going back to when they fucking lost. Okay, So they scored 4 runs yesterday. They scored 1 today. They scored 1 in the final game of Toronto. So they scored 6 runs in the last 4 games.
Okay, that's terrible. I mean, it's terrible.
If you're talking about the K curse, then you have to take it from the beginning of the K curse.
Okay, still terrible, but they managed to win. I mean, they managed to win the series.
They won. They went 2-2, and so they seem to have stemmed the tide from the K curse. But I mean, are we looking at a scenario where if the Yankees get into a playoff series this year, that you give Game 2 to Nestor Cortes?
Right now,
are you still too early to say that?
Right now,
wow.
Let's just say that the season plays out in the same way we've seen the first 28 games as far as the pitching is concerned. There's no way you justify not handing him the ball at this point.
Do you need to see more? Are you ready to say that he's?
Oh, no. I think he's earned it.
Are you fully trusting Nestor Cortes to be a I hate saying a number 2, but is he your number 2 now? Are you fully ready to stamp Nestor Cortes as the number 2 pitcher in this rotation?
I think he's earned it. I think we have this
right.
It's so easy to just go back and say, he's not a real starter still, because we have this reservation that he's just going.
Can't say that. That's offensive.
Sorry. In Cleveland Guardians, the Guardians. We're just waiting for it, but I just think it's unfair on our part now. I think it was justified before, but now it's not fair anymore. I think this guy has earned it.
Line of thinking with a guy like Gio Urshela, that he's putting up good numbers and stuff, but you're just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it did.
It kind of did. It pretty much
kind of did. Yeah.
Right. And so that's one of the things, because it's so tough to do what Nestor Cortes is doing right now. This is unheard of what this guy is doing right now.
He had a great quote at the end after the game today, and I just makes you respect the guy. He goes, I've been playing baseball since I've been 4 years old. I really don't have a backup plan.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the thing with Cortes, and why I said I thought it was justified before, is there were so many things against him, right? First of all, he came out of nowhere. You didn't know who the hell he was. He was just some scrub, bullpen guy that came in and
came back.
Right. And then he was a spot starter where
he was look, this is what you need to know about Nestor Cortes. He was so bad at one point that the Baltimore Orioles gave him back to the Yankees.
Right.
Like the Orioles
took
him in the Rule 5 draft and gave him back.
Right. And then even when he was kind of implanted into the rotation, like we said, he wasn't going long into games. He would be the 4 or 5 guy with the piggyback.
And you know what? You had that previous look at Cortes where in 2018 he was the bulk guy. Like, it worked very well for a while there with Chad Greenwood open, and he would be the guy to come in, give you 3+ innings, and it worked until the league kind of figured him out, and then he got DFA'd. He wound up in Seattle, and then the Yankees took a flyer on him again. You just hope that whatever it is that he's doing now is now sustainable. He doesn't throw hard. Maybe on a good day he hits 92, 93, but most of the time the fastball is around 90, 91. He uses the movement, deception. It's very gimmicky. That's what kind of worries me about him, but still, at the same token, since this guy's been put in the rotation, I believe he's got the best starters ERA in at least the American League, if not Major League Baseball. I saw a stat earlier today. So he's been incredible. So, I mean, honestly, now I know it's May 9th, right? As we're sitting here recording this, is May 9th. The way the Yankees have gotten out of the gate, it's going to be a huge disappointment if they're not in the American League Division Series. If they have to play a wild card game with the way they've gotten out of the gate now, that's going to be a big disappointment. So, yeah, you can kind of look at it and say, Nestor Cortes, barring something catastrophic happening, is the guy you give the ball to in Game 2.
Well, SGR says it all the time. It only takes one big run. Right? It only takes one big run to really be good enough to at least have a playoff spot.
Which is what the Yankees did last year.
Right.
They had that 13-game winning streak, and they rode that into the postseason.
So you'd hope now they do more than one, since it was right at the beginning of the year. But I think you made a good point about Cortes, that he's kind of gimmicky. And I think that's another reason why we kind of hold back on just saying he's the guy. But I got to say, man, if there's one thing I'm going to say about Nestor Cortes, we know he plays hard. We know that he's out there to win ball games.
He plays what?
He plays hard.
Don't play hard.
But if there's one thing you got to give him credit for, even if it's gimmicky, he's mastered it, dude. He's mastered it. He has mastered it. He's mastered the pickoff. He has a great pickoff move. He does the timing. He masturbated. He masturbated it. Mm-hmm. He's the masturbator.
Yeah, he's nasty. He's nasty.
He's nasty.
It's also if you want to take it a step further, it's really good for the game of baseball. And he's a player that needs to be marketed a little bit more right now, because it's a guy that young kids watching the game could kind of look up to.
I'm stunned the Yankees haven't handed out fucking Nestor Cortes mustache.
They got to do it. Cash in while it's still hot. The kids could look up to someone like this. That's not a flamethrower. That's finding true success in the big leagues. And then it's great for the Yankees too, because he's such a deviation from what they're throwing out there. Mm-hmm. He goes out there for 6, 7, 8 innings, and then you're going to a Clay Holmes,
right? Yeah, with that fucking 99-mile.
And then you're going to that, and it's like, holy shit! You're going from a nasty Nestor to a Clay Holmes. The separation of those pitchers is nasty.
Well, I think you made the same point when he was kind of the 4 or 5 inning guy piggybacked with,
same
because
thing.
It was so effective going with someone right after him that threw hard. And he threw hard. Yeah. And that can play big time in the postseason too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, I think it's a great question. Like I said, things would have to continue this way, because obviously you don't make that decision until you get closer and you say, what's my hot hand right now? It might not be Nestor anymore. Who knows? I don't think this guy's going anywhere. I'd be more than confident handing him the ball in game 2 right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Timmy Lowe wound up on the IL. He's got a strained lat. Okay. And
he better fucking get healthy, dude, because he is such a valuable piece off this bench.
But here's my point, bro. I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but does he really need to go on the injured list? It's a fucking shoulder muscle strain. He doesn't have to do anything but fucking run if his legs are still good. He can still play baseball for what the Yankees need him to do.
I mean, fair point. But I'm sure it's early. If it was later in the year and they were approaching October, he's not on the IL right now.
I'm telling you right now, man. Like it's getting stunning that we don't even hear anything about Brett Gardner with the Yankees anymore. I mean,
I talked about him today.
Okay, you did. You talked about Brett Gardner?
No, I talked about him. Okay, I did. I said it's such a shame. Like no one even. It's like he didn't exist.
Look, he can't do what Tim LaCastro can do. And you were a big critic of this, and it's fair because I agree with it too. Brett Gardner was fast, but he wasn't a base stealer.
Right. That was my biggest thing, was for a while before Gardner really established himself as a reliable guy in this lineup. His biggest strength was his speed, and he would get on base and he just wouldn't know how to steal bases effectively. Yep. I think the Yankees definitely discouraged him from doing it more. They were, they're a team, they're an organization that doesn't fully believe in stealing a base at any time that you can. It's got to be the perfect situation. But man, he was so fast and would never get his timing down.
It's like he could not. It's an art in reading the pitcher and the move home and all that shit. It seemed like he could never figure it out, because he'd be on either he'd lead off with a hit, a walk, or whoever would, and then he'd be pinch running. And then by the time he grew the balls, I guess you could say, to steal, there's 2 outs in the inning, and it's like, what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rasan Thompson, thanks, man. He left us a super chat here. He said, we all owe Nasty Nestor an apology. No one on this platform thought he would pitch this way. Love you guys. See y'all on June 25th. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for getting your tickets for the event. And yeah, I mean, we said it at the start of the show here for sure. I mean, the dude, in my mind, if he has a bad outing or two, even if it's consecutive, for us at this point to jump back on the whole he's not a starter, he's not legit, wouldn't be fair. I think he's established himself enough now and deserves the credit that he's a guy. Yeah. He's a guy that you can rely on to be extremely effective.
He's effective.
Okay.
Who else was very effective was Gerrit Cole yesterday. His third straight strong outing. He goes 6 1/3. He gives up the home run to Cole Calhoun late in the 7th inning there. Now, you guys are so negative. Well, fuck you, number one. And number two, I'm going to be negative because I don't understand why Kyle Higashioka. Look, did it work out in the end? Yeah, Cole had a great game yesterday. He goes 6 1/3, gives up just the 1 run. I think he had 10 Ks in the game. He was great. He pitched like fucking Gerrit Cole yesterday. Problem is, for me, is why Kyle Higashioka caught him yesterday.
I have a theory.
I don't. You can tell it to me, but I don't care what it is.
Who started behind the plate today?
Trevino did.
And if they continue to call him Trevino, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Right. They need to clarify that. They need to
it's not Trevino.
But a lot of people call him Trevino. But
it's Trevino.
It doesn't have the thing. I forget what it's called.
The Tielda line.
No, it's not a Tielda.
Yeah, it's closer than what you're thinking it is.
The squiggly.
Okay, it's somebody that speaks Espanol is in the chat. I know for sure, and they could tell us that. Okay, now here's my problem. There's certain things that need to be a number one priority for this team, and getting Gerrit Cole to pitch like an ace should be at the top of that list. So when Jose Trevino catches him, and he's got a 12 1/3 or 12 2, whatever it was, scoreless inning streak with Trevino behind the plate. Why do we deviate from that? And I get it. Sometimes it's not even the result that matters. It's the fact that the decision in the first place wasn't the right one. So it doesn't even matter to me that Cole pitched well with Higashioka because I'm already fucking annoyed that they did it in the first place.
I have a theory.
You have a theory.
The Yankees wanted to give Gerrit Cole and Kyle Higashioka one last time as battery mates.
Before he gets
on the
DFA'd.
field. Before he gets DFA'd. And that is my theory, and I'm sticking with it because it's the only justification I can come up with.
Is it like when you break up with somebody,
yes.
You bang them one more time?
You do the final bang. You do the breakup bang. You do the breakup bang. You do the goodbye dance.
That was their breakup bang?
That's it, man. And that's it. That's the last dance.
That's what that whole documentary is about.
That's it.
One final bang.
And I think that's a legit theory, and I think you're going to see it happen sooner rather than later.
Well, Ben Morbeck started a what do you call it? A rehab assignment. So, I mean,
Chris, you might be onto something, bro.
I'm telling
you. Look, it worked in the end. I get it did work in the end. So, I mean, you can't get too worked up about it, but I just don't understand why the Yankees continually need to do things when things are working. Like, the Yankees got on a roll. They moved DJ LeMahieu into the leadoff spot, and then they lose one game, and they're like, oh, well, let's put fucking Aaron Hicks back in the leadoff spot. The guy's the biggest fucking waste of space I've ever seen on a baseball team. Like, literally, I could not imagine myself perform, and I'm terrible at fucking baseball. Like, I couldn't imagine my old ass fucking being worse at baseball than Aaron Hicks. That's hyperbolic, I know, but come on. The guy is he's useless. I don't know analytics. I don't fucking care to know them. Okay, all I know is that if Aaron Hicks has an above league average WRC plus, the WRC plus is absolutely fucking worthless as a stat. There's that you. I am going to lose my mind. I can't stand Aaron Hicks anymore. I can't look at him. I don't want to look at him anymore. He needs to go. You know, Stevie Cohen bought out the $44 million left on Robbie Cano's deal. Hal's just got to fucking cut bait and let go. Like something's got to happen. He can't be a fucking Yankee for another 5 fucking years or whatever it is. I can't deal with it anymore.
Do you know what the Yankees record is with DJ LeMahieu as a leadoff hitter?
Probably 13-1.
11-2.
Okay.
Well, I was close.
11-2. And when they finally committed to him being the leadoff hitter was actually the start of the 11-game winning streak.
Okay, so there you go. Okay.
So, look, could that be coincidence? Sure. But I don't know, man. The offense was rolling much better than it was in the very beginning of the season. So,
yeah, right. You lose one game and you're like, oh, let's put Aaron Hicks. Oh,
right.
You lost one game. Just go back to what was working before you lose fucking 10 in a row. I can't. Aaron Hicks is so. I just. Now that Luke Voigt is gone, I have nobody else to distract me from how much I fucking hate Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, and it's so bad. Like, you've seen the Yankees change big time from when we grew up. Obviously, after George died, whatever, they're much more conservative with who they're getting in free agency and who they're trading and whatever. But another big thing we can talk about ever since the signing of ever since they got Aaron Boone and hired him as the manager, this urge to be creative and cute all the time, of like, maybe this will work better. And it would be a different story if things just weren't working, but they do it even when things are working really well. And that's very frustrating.
Right. And that's what pissed me off about the Higgy starting behind the plate for Cole yesterday, is that
right.
Trevino was working. Now, look, he's Gerrit Cole. You're paying this guy $36 million a year to be one of the 2 or 3 best pitchers in the whole entire league. He should be able to catch the fucking fat kid from the Sandlot should be able to catch him, and he should be able to go out there and pitch a fucking gem. Okay. But again, if something is working, you don't mess with it. They continually do that. Like, we're going to see it. Like, somebody's going to get hot, and then they're not going to be batting in their usual spot. You know, well, Judge will get, Judge is hitting second. He hits 8 home runs in a week. Oh, it's bat him third now. It's just typical Yankees.
Well, how many times have we said it? Like, when Gleyber Torres started to really struggle after a couple seasons ago, he would finally get hot and start hitting the ball down in like the 7 spot. And then what would the Yankees do after he really started to get on a roll? They bat him third. And it was like, why are we, as people sitting behind the television who have nothing to do with managing this team, we've been fans our whole lives. How come we can sit there and say, guys, this is a bad idea? Who is it? Like, who is in that room that can't stand up and just say, guys, maybe this isn't a good idea. He's doing well where he is. And it seems like after the last 10 times we've tried this, that when we put him up in the top of the order, maybe the pressure gets to him. Maybe he's not seeing as many good pitches because pitchers are trying to, really work him with better pitches. Who knows? Maybe it's just not working out. Maybe we should just leave him alone. Why is that so hard? Why do we continue to do? It's not just that they do the creative and cute things when they don't have to. It's that the ones that they do try that don't work, they don't learn from their mistakes. And it's like, I feel like that's not happening as much this year. I feel like they are a little more, they do have their finger on the pulse of this team a little more, Aaron Boone and I guess Brian Cashman. But it's still very frustrating. Leave them alone. DJ needs to be the leadoff hitter on this team. And please, dear God, if you're going to feel like he shouldn't be the leadoff hitter, anyone but Aaron Hicks. Anyone but Aaron Hicks, please. That's the least you could do.
He can't be. I don't even want him in the lineup every day anymore. He's got to go.
I agree, man. Look, I will sit here and say this. I hate the guy. I can't stand him as a player. And I hate that I feel that way about a New York Yankee. I really do. But when he was playing well, it was still difficult for me to support him, which is something I've never really felt about a Yankee before. And now that he's coming back down to being Aaron Hicks, it's like, okay, when is enough enough? Like, when are we going to cut ties here? Because Florial's swing the other day, by the way, he got a hold of one of those balls. And I realized, like, his swing, man, could be deadly.
He's not ready.
Yeah. He's not ready.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to know when the Aaron Hicks experiment is over?
Yeah, tell me when.
2025.
That's fucking crazy, man.
You're right, man. It's not going anywhere.
It's crazy.
Look, we sat here. I mean, how it was back in 2019, right? I think that was when the extension took place. We were doing the show. We said, "Hey, that's a good deal. You're getting this guy for what his supposed production was supposed to be, for $10 million a year. It was a solid contract, but now we've seen him not stay healthy. When he's had one good year, I think it was 2018 it was, that he stayed healthy. He hit around 30 home runs. He looked like a good baseball player, but ever since then, he's just not been good. And I can't watch him anymore. It's just gotten to the point where it's just too much. And I'm not rooting for the guy to fail because that's fucking stupid.
No,
I want him to fucking come up there and hit a home run or get on base every time he comes to the plate because he plays for the Yankees. Obviously, I want the Yankees to win, but I there's just too many dead spots in this lineup now. Honestly, there are. Like, that's why, like, I have, as much as this winning streak and that, it was nice and they were scoring runs. Now even though they won the series, now you start seeing the warts are back again, that they're not scoring runs. And you look at it and you're like, okay, LeMahieu's cooled off, Judge's cooled off, Rizzo's, he had to hit today, but he's been ice cold. If those three guys are not hitting, and Stan's come up with some big hits, but he's not had that scorching hot Stanton streak yet.
He was close.
So if you're not getting production out of those four guys, where are you generating runs from? Because Gleyber Torres, he comes. It seems like the only time Gleyber Torres ever gets a hit is in a big spot, which is good. But what happens the other three at bats of the game?
Mm-hmm.
Joey Gallo is fucking. He's another one. He's got to go. I know he's a free agent at the end of the year, but the Yankees have to figure something out and get him off this fucking team because he's a fucking waste. Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
Aaron Hicks is terrible. Okay. IKF was hot, and now he's back to being fucking IKF, who is a light hitting shortstop, and you're getting absolutely nothing out of your catching position. So the Yankees need. I mean, you don't want to say that a team that hits the 20 win mark first in their league is a bad team, but they're not a good offensive team. They're just not.
No, and the more we start to see, an 11-game winning streak out of the gate, the first team to 20 wins, 20-8 record, you start to say to yourself, this team, pitching wise right now, can be legit. So you still want to dissect the offense here and try not to get too distracted by the way they've played so far. You got to look at it. This is a long season, and we've watched this movie before, right? We know this script. We know how it goes. The Yankees are the most frustrating team in the world when their offense plays this way. So, being that we have seen now how talented this team could be, we need to take it seriously and say, they could be and should be a playoff team. They could win a World Series, but they can't do it with these holes in the lineup.
Just look at the last week of games, right? You go up to Toronto, you hold that offense to 2 runs, that shouldn't be a loss, and it was.
Yep.
You should not have to scrape the skin of your teeth to get 2 wins against the Texas Rangers. If you want to tell me they were 10-8 games, but they weren't. They were 2-1, 1-0 games. And you scored 2 runs in the other game at home. This is what still scares me about this team, is that once you get past 1 through 4, and especially if those guys are not hot, which they're really not right now, where are you generating the offense from? Nobody has been able to pick it. I know it's 28, but where do you see it coming from?
No.
You go LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton. Fine, those are your top 4. I love them as my top 4. But past that, where do you see the offense coming from? Do you see a big resurgence from Joey Gallo the rest of the year?
No, I really don't. I hope I'm wrong. But I got to say, if anything was exposed most this past series, it's how much of a difference Aaron Judge makes in this lineup when he's hitting the way he should be. Because how many big spots did he come up in where he could have really opened up the game and he wasn't able to?
It was today, dude. It was what, 6th inning. The bases loaded, 1 out. He misses 2 fastballs that he should have hit.
Oh yeah,
into fucking orbit.
How about game 2 yesterday? I mean, it was 4-2, I believe.
Yeah, and he hits a soft fly ball to center field.
Yeah, he just got under it. He just missed it, but still, I mean, how many times does this guy come up in big spots? And him playing the way we know he can, which I have no doubt about him, he'll be fine. He's a big factor too. So when Aaron Judge, on top of all those holes at the bottom of the lineup, when he's specifically not performing at the top, it's even worse. It's even worse.
You can say that about pretty much every team, though.
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
If their best player isn't performing,
if their best players aren't
of course
going to struggle.
Of course,
but now the thing is when they all don't perform at the same time, and that's something that we've seen with the Yankees, where when they slump together, which is bad.
Well, that's my point of bringing it up. Is you're right. Any team where their best player is not performing is going to struggle. But my point is the Yankees can sustain some of these holes if specifically Aaron Judge is playing like Aaron Judge, because he came up plenty of spots where the Yankees could have put a lot of runs across the board. But it's frustrating when they're only scoring 1 run, just watching those games, especially when Nestor Cortes is throwing a fucking no-hitter in the 8th inning.
And I want to, before we continue down this path, I want to go back to Gerrit Cole before I completely forget about it. He was over 100 pitches after 6th inning yesterday, and I thought he was done. And then he comes back out.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, Aaron Boone is trusting his ace, and I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. It's like I want it's the decision more so than the result. Just like I didn't like Higgy starting, so the result of the well pitched game, it doesn't really matter to me because I don't like the decision, right?
Right.
Cole Calhoun hitting that home run off of Cole in the 7th inning, it's not how you want to end the outing for Cole, but the fact that he still wanted the ball and Boone let him get the ball, that's what you want to see out of your ace, and that's what you want to see that's how you want to see your manager treat your ace as well.
And I think it speaks volumes to what we said was Gerrit Cole's issue, and that was his him believing in himself and knowing he's still that ace out there. I think that Aaron Boone is comfortable now to a point where even if he gives up that home run, he still thinks Cole is on the right track to the SMD tour that Christian
he's
has
on
been
it.
talking about. So it's a great sign.
You're seeing a lot of examples too of them having like a good rapport with Boone, the players, where they're really trusting one another.
Players.
With Cole, that's got to be a nice step in the right direction. Then you had Aaron Judge a few games ago, with Boone getting ejected, defending him over terrible strike calls. So it's good to see them that they're having, and they have a nice rapport with one another. It's
important, right? I mean,
yeah. They clearly, they're playing. You know, they're showing some sort of respect for Boone. That's okay.
You don't do that with everybody. You know, if Jordan Montgomery, if you're set on taking him out of the game, you don't let Jordan Montgomery talk you into staying in the game. But Gerrit Cole, he has that gravitas, man. He's the fucking ace. He's the leader of this team. He's the horse. So if he wants the fucking ball, you give him the ball. And I know people were coming at me yesterday like, well, if you want the ball, you better not give up that fucking home run. Okay, fine. That's fair, I guess. But at the same time, you're Gerrit Cole. You should want the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he went out there and he said that to Boone. No, I want the ball. Give me the ball. And I respect Boone. I know we have our problems with Boone, but I respect the fact that he was like, you know what? You want it? Go. Here's the ball, Gerrit. Go and do your thing. And he got beat. He got, it was a home run. We talked about this. Even if Gerrit Cole's throwing the game of his life, he's bound to give up a fucking home run. Fastball pitchers or fly ball pitchers in that ballpark are going to be subject to home runs. It's just whether or not he's got guys on base, and it was a solo home run. And to be honest with you, it shouldn't have really even fucking mattered if the Yankees offense was anywhere to be found yesterday.
Yeah, and I got to say something about Boone too. If you just quickly go through the timeline, even when this whole entire fan base was against Boone, we defended him, and we kind of broke down where he started to falter, and that was when the heart stuff happened, when COVID hit. We saw a different Aaron Boone. We didn't see the same intensity. We didn't see his presence like we were used to the 2 years prior. And I wanted to make this point today because I said it the other day.
Well, he's got 5 boosters now. Okay, so
he just took his 5th booster. Okay, and I actually feel like he's the old Aaron Boone again that was here, and I was confident in.
You see a little bit. You do see that side of him more so than you had in the previous 2 seasons. I will agree with that. That he seems to be more like the Aaron Boone previous to the COVID.
Right. I'm shocked he didn't get tossed today. I really am.
I know that.
He was barking.
Oh, barking.
There was another low strike. I mean, once Aaron Judge is playing for the Mets next year, they'll figure out a strike zone.
Yeah, I'm shocked Judge, and I'm shocked DJ didn't get thrown out as well.
I saw DJ was barking a little bit on one of the highlights.
A lot of it.
I mean, if you know,
first time of the year, he's nuts. I think with the home run, you can see that.
Yeah.
If LeMay's barking, then you kind of got to figure that there's something wrong there because the guy doesn't say anything. He's the most awkward dude in America. He's got to be one of the most awkward dudes in this entire country. Okay.
You got to see more of the umpires. Did you see who was pitching? Sorry to bring up the Mets, but an umpire missed the call, blatantly missed the strike 3 call. And at the end of the inning, as the pitcher, it might have been, I don't know who it was, but he was going back to the dugout. The umpire pointed to his chest like, that was on me. That was a bad call. So like to see that accountability.
That's because he was afraid Max Scherzer was going to eat his fucking soul.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Max Scherzer, but yeah, all from the dugout coming.
I was actually going to say props to the umpire today for not having such a quick hook on Boone, because any other umpire ejects him immediately.
Yeah, umpires.
He gets ejected. Ejected.
Okay.
Okay. Injected. Okay, Fauci.
All right. So a lot of people were saying off season that this team had a top 5 pitching staff, and I personally didn't see it, but the way this team has gotten out of the gate, I mean, can you argue with that statement right now? There's still things that need to be worked out. I still don't trust Sevy over the course of the season. The Yankees got to take the fucking training wheels off of Tyone too. Yeah. I mean, you gotta let him go, man. What are you holding back? I mean, if he's gonna get hurt, he's gonna get hurt. I mean, it's not really your problem if you think about it, because he's a free agent at the end of the year. But you need this guy to be able to be another horse for you, you know. But right now, I mean, Matt Blake is a fucking wizard right now. I mean, whatever he's doing is really working. And if Gerrit Cole is gonna be Gerrit Cole, I mean, this is gonna. right now, this looks like a very good staff. I really still think they should be in the market for some starting pitching help if it comes up. But I mean, right now it looks pretty good. Things are all looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I like where Taillon has sat to start this season, kind of under the radar. But when you look at his numbers, he's actually off to a phenomenal start. You couldn't ask for anything more from him right now. I think he's got a 2.87 ERA. He's been showing up every fifth day, and he looks like he's on a path to getting better each and every time he goes out there. So I think Taillon could actually be the dark horse, the sleeper pick to turn it to the next gear and actually fight for that number 2 spot. I really do. I would say this. I'm more confident in Taillon doing it than Sevy, even though Sevy's looked great. I don't like the back-to-back kind of shaky starts from him where he's been giving up runs. It scares me because you never know what's going on with him.
Well, you already seen what the Yankees are planning on doing with him, because he should have started one of these games against Texas. If they would have played, if there was no rainouts, he would have gotten a game. But the Yankees used it as an opportunity to push him back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
because he should.
I think that says a lot too.
Cortes should not have pitched today if
No,
they
I
were
know.
staying in rotation.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, again, I think Sevy deserves a little more than that from me and from the fans, because
I don't think honestly, I don't think he deserves anything, if we're being fair about it.
Yeah, no. Look, in if I'm talking long term, maybe not, but he's been really good in a couple of his starts this year where clearly he still has what it takes. My biggest concern with him is him not being completely transparent with what he's feeling in his body because he's so fed up with being injured that I just hope he doesn't try to fight through something without speaking up. We've seen the Yankees do that too many times. And I just hope if he's feeling something in that fucking arm or whatever, in his groin, that he says something about it. And if he has to go back on the IL, I mean, I give up on him long term, but clearly he still has what it takes when he's healthy to be extremely effective. And this team's going to need that down the stretch.
Are they?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, how could you not want that? Did you not see the guy's first couple starts?
No, I did. But I mean, if the Yankees can actually put themselves in a position where he could be their 5th starter.
How about a piggyback guy?
What do you mean? You want an opener?
Not an opener. Okay. How about a guy who, okay, maybe piggyback's not the best term for that. How about a guy out of the bullpen in the postseason that can throw as effectively as he's proven he could still throw? Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Here,
Severino, yeah.
If anyone profiles as a reliever in the postseason in this rotation, I'd say it'd be him.
For sure.
I mean, I know Chris hates the guy, but fucking Jordan Montgomery, dude, he should sue the Yankees for fucking support, man. I mean, how many more games does this guy have to go 6 innings, 2 runs and take a loss because his team doesn't score for him?
Yeah, it's crazy. He's again just picked up where he left off last year, man. This guy, he's another guy that I think kind of deserves that next level of credit.
I think next year is his walk year. Honestly, the Yankees, they don't do anything that they're supposed to do, but this is a guy they should try to lock up for the next 4 or 5 years.
Good luck.
Good
luck with Scott Boras as his agent.
Yeah, forget
He's
it.
getting ace. He'll get ace money.
Yeah, probably.
I'll talk to Scott Boras. Don't you worry about that.
Well, listen, if Jordan Montgomery gives me one more big time outing, whether it be a postseason start or just a late in the season big start for a division push for, a chance to win the AL East, something like that, and he comes out and he's dominant like he's been in those big starts the last couple of years, I'm giving him the money, man. I'm keeping him on my team for sure.
You gonna give him Gerrit Cole money?
I'll give him Gerrit Cole money, bro.
Okay. You're gonna you hate the guy. You're gonna give him $36 million a year.
Yeah, fuck Fuck it.
Uh-huh.
We're not giving it to anyone else, right?
Yeah, well,
Rather give it to him than Donaldson.
I didn't even mention Josh Donaldson when I was rattling off people that are underperforming or not performing at all. I mean, this has been a fucking disaster, Josh Donaldson. I mean, is the guy washed? I mean, honestly, is he fucking washed at this point? I know he's 36. He's had a couple injuries. I mean, if he's washed, Brian Cashman needs to, that's just another check mark there. You got to say Brian Cashman's got to go. You took on this dude's contract and he's not even performing at a level that you'd expect out of a fucking out of a 4A player, let alone a guy that you'd expect to perform at a close to all-star level.
The problem is he's definitely not going anywhere, because think of the weight on that move he made. Not only did he take on $50 million of his contract, he also dealt a guy who the fans loved in Gio Urshela. Okay, it evened itself out because he also got rid of the most hated Yankee of all time, in Gary Sanchez. But more importantly, that move allowed the Twins to have the payroll to go out and get the guy the Yankees really should have gotten in Carlos Correa, in my opinion. So there's so much surrounding that deal that Brian Cashman, we know how he operates, will never concede.
Right.
That it was a failure.
Yeah, that's why I'm still sitting here shocked that he traded Gary Sanchez, that he actually pulled the plug on that and said that this isn't going to work. That's why he didn't trade Gleyber Torres. Like, he lets his ego get in the way of certain things that could possibly help the team. It's just that if Josh Donaldson is fucking washed up, the Yankees, that's a big hole in their lineup. This guy was brought here to be a middle of the order guy, a guy that can drive in potentially 100 runs. I mean, he's not even good. He might not even drive in 40 this year the way he's playing right now.
Well, I said it before the season started, and I prefaced it with saying I hope I was wrong again. But I wanted him to be good. I started to like him immediately when he came here. He was a Yankee. He was my guy.
Yeah, and then you found out that him and his kid and Garrett Cole's kid go on fucking play dates, and you're like,
oh no,
yeah,
that's the curse.
That's the curse right there. Amy got her hooks in on Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But I said I just don't see him panning out. I don't see Josh Donaldson being as productive as we needed him to be. Again, it's still so early in the season, man. It can change. Yeah, it could change.
I also could see him being somebody who might have a sluggish regular season, but then having a big moment.
What if he just beat? You know what I want to see him do? I want to see him fucking punch Vlad Guerrero in the face tomorrow.
I wouldn't mind that.
Actually, right? That's a great.
What?
What are you going to say?
You're going to compliment. No, you're going to compliment me. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, that's a good point, though. Like, I could see Donaldson being the guy that shits the bed all year, but come October, he's the guy who fucking shows up with the intensity that this team needs.
Right.
And maybe has a couple big moments.
Yeah, that could happen. I forget what I was going to say.
It doesn't matter. You got a compliment, bro. So that's all that matters.
Oh, that's all I'm thinking about right now. I'm on that compliment high.
All right. So, okay. So we back to what we were talking about here, all the dead spots in the lineup here. I ran this poll earlier today. It says the Yankees are the first American League team to hit 20 wins in 2022. But if you can improve one specific position on the team, what would it be? I listed four positions: catcher, center field, left field, and shortstop. And center field won with 41%, catcher at 32%, left field at 22%, and then shortstop at 5%. Yeah, for me, dog.
Yeah, come on. I mean, obviously,
in it to win it.
It's definitely fucking center field. I mean,
yeah,
there's a very simple fix for this too, and it doesn't even require going outside the organization. You call up Estevan Florial. If you don't want to play him every day, he plays 3 games a week in center. Judge plays 3 games a week in center field. Okay. And then that's how you get Stanton in the outfield 3 days a week. And you just move them around. I mean, unfortunately, that means you're going to be stuck with Joey Gallo on left, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make if it means that Aaron Hicks is no longer an everyday player for this team. To me, if the Yankees can improve one specific area on this team, it's got to be center field. The Yankees have a long history of elite, legendary center fielders. Think of all the guys that have patrolled center field for the Yankees: Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Bernie Williams, and now fucking Aaron Hicks. Are you shitting me, bro?
Yeah.
You want to talk about if people rolling over in their grave? Imagine Mickey Mantle fucking woke up from his death and he was like, "You mean to tell me you guys are playing Aaron Hicks in my position?"
That's supposed mine.
Mickey Mantle, for Christ's sake. Nah, you can't have it, man. You can't have it.
That was a good poll. Good, great, solid poll.
Yeah. Look, at this point, it's like, okay, what's the Yankees' excuse for not playing Florio? What's it been for the last decade and a half?
He's not ready.
He's not ready, right? Okay. I'm ready now for you to prove to me that he's not ready. Prove to me he's not ready.
Show me.
Please, because you haven't provided any reasoning behind why you feel he's not ready. The guy has been in the minor leagues, it feels like, for 10 years, being talked about as a top prospect. And when he comes up here, he actually looks like he can be a legitimate Major League Baseball player.
If you gave him a run, he is not. I mean, we have not seen him get an extended run here, but from what we've seen, he's shown enough where you say if this guy can get 10, 15, 20 games to just play, maybe we'll have something here.
Exactly. So prove to me he's not ready. And if he's not ready after all this time, please just get rid of him. Get rid of him. I don't care what you get for him. Just get rid of him. I don't want to talk about him anymore then. If he's not ready after all this time, like you claim, why even keep him here anymore? What, so he can just rot away and really not prove anything to us? No, I'm ready to be at a point where prove to me then that he's not ready. Zach Brownish, our boy, just gave us a super chat. Thanks, Zach.
Super chat.
NYYNewsTV to the moon.
To the
Can't
moon.
wait to see you all up top. Thanks, my man.
Well, man.
And I believe you're coming June 25th. So
Chris, what was your pick?
To meet you there.
That poll, center field.
It wasn't even close to me for me.
Because looking at when the poll first started, it looked like catcher was the early pick, and that one to me is the one that if you're not giving it a lot of thought, you might choose catcher because they don't really have an offensive guy. But the more you think about it, man, you're seeing how much Gary Sanchez might have been really hurting this team in all those different areas of the game, because you're seeing an impressive pitching staff. You're seeing a much better defensive team, and you're seeing a better offensive team. And I think a lot of that ties into what Gary Sanchez was holding back. He was coming up in big spots as a hitter, and you're expecting him to do something, and he's not coming through. The pitching staff couldn't throw to him. Guys like Clay Holmes throwing a 98-mile-an-hour sinker were probably not fully confident in throwing those pitches. And then look at the defense. Look at how much better they look and more sound they look defensively. So I can't say they need a catcher right now. I think that position, they're showing they need to stick with a defensive mind behind home plate going forward for this team and supplement the offense that you're going to miss in other areas like the outfield, especially, I was thinking left field or center field. I want to keep giving Gallo a shot. He's a power lefty.
If he wasn't a lefty, I'd say he's done.
And Hicks, I don't hate Hicks. I like that he's a switch hitter, but what they need in this lineup in one of those two positions is someone to make up for the lack of offense coming from the catcher's position and other areas. And that's not going to happen from Hicks. And there's guys out there that they might be able to get. Who I'm looking at right now is fucking Trey Mancini. I know he's not a center fielder, but he's an outfielder. Hit up the Orioles, see if they're willing to make a deal for Trey Mancini right now. That's a guy that's definitely going to be moved at the offseason.
Well,
you weren't here last. Okay.
What were you going to say?
I said Ryan wasn't here last week, but I wanted the Yankees to acquire Andrew Benintendi last year. I think he would be a good fit for Yankee Stadium.
I made this point when the Yankees initially traded Gary Sanchez and then they signed, they got IKF here and all of that. And I said, I feel like there's too many.
Okay.
there's too many guys that are defensive guys now, where you need to supplement those guys for guys that can hit. And here's why they don't have to upgrade on catcher, because other than Trevino having a couple big moments where he, scored some runs in some big spots, when they went on that 11-game winning streak, the catcher could have taken an automatic out in the lineup. It didn't matter. We didn't need them there. We didn't need them. We weren't relying on them. We know who we're relying on in this lineup. And it's always great. Obviously, when the bottom of the lineup comes through, it's extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're telling me that as my catcher is going to be completely non-existent, fine, because we can sustain that. We scored a lot of runs. The Yankees scored a lot of runs over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But when you have Aaron Hicks come back now, and you're not only starting him in center field every day, but then you're flirting with the idea again of leading him off, you are exposing such a huge weakness at the top of the lineup that then it becomes a situation that you can't sustain anymore. You can't keep rolling him out there at the top of this lineup, especially when the 9 hitter's non-existent.
And you can't knock him down the lineup at that point if that's what you're establishing, because what's that going to show?
It's just they got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm in agreement that you can live with the catching being this bad offensively if they're helping the pitchers and the staff is going to pitch to this type of level that they've been pitching at, right? But you got to give me the offense somewhere else.
Right.
The Yankees did not improve anywhere offensively in the offseason to say, well, if you want to go defensive, you want to go strict defense behind the plate, where did you get better offensively? And they didn't get better anywhere offensively. That's why people are like, oh, Carlos Correa is not worth this and this guy. No, but these guys are threats in the lineup. You cannot go out there and have 5 guys that are basically automatic outs and 2 of them that you're like, oh, this guy's a defensive guy. No, you still need to have run producers. That's how you win baseball games, scoring runs. I understand the Yankees don't give up a lot of runs, but at the same time, do you want your pitching staff stressed the fuck out every day? I don't. No matter how good they are, these are stressful. Look, the Yankees can go out there and have their starters go out there and pitch to a 2.3 ERA every night. Be great, but when do they ever feel relaxed on the mound?
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. Look, the Yankees' primary strategy to win is to make it a game of the bullpen. Right? You get to the bullpens.
They just want to be tied after 6.
Right. And so that was always my argument with Gary Sanchez and getting a defensive guy in here, which is a great upgrade. I'm not saying that. Look, I'm with you, Rye. I think defensively, I'd rather have a defensive catcher at this point for sure. But my argument with, someone can come back and say, yeah, you're talking about Higgy not hitting the ball, but Gary Sanchez didn't either the last couple of years. Fine, fair enough, right? But we talk about getting to the bullpen, and what does that take? High intensity pitches. I don't care if Higashioka and Sanchez both suck at the plate. If you're a pitcher in Major League Baseball, which guy do you feel like you're throwing more high intensity pitches to? Gary Sanchez, who can hit the ball 600 feet on a good day, or Kyle Higashioka, who just doesn't have the same profile? You're at least getting that from Gary Sanchez, which is not good enough. I'm not fighting for him to still be here. But my point is, fine, we're conceding to have a defensive catcher, to be an automatic out, fine. But you got to give me more guys in this lineup who can consistently put the ball in play. And I'm not trying to be negative, dude. This fucking team looks great. They're 20-8.
They're a better defensive team than they were last year.
And they're much better defensive team.
I think that's helping them a lot winning some of these games, is that they're much better defensively. Luke Voit fucking sucks. Okay. I'm so happy he's gone. We got a full year of Anthony Rizzo. It's night and day, dude. I mean, like, you just see that that play. Did you see that play with him and Cole yesterday?
Unbelievable.
You think Luke Voigt makes that fucking play?
Yeah,
The Yankees, if Luke Voigt's the first baseman, the Yankees probably lose that game yesterday because they don't make the play, and then Cole probably gives up a home run. You know, it's just we've seen that shit spiral out of control before. But because you have a competent first baseman out there, and yeah, you want to say, okay, you even want me to concede IKF as a guy that's going to make all the plays, and we can live with the fact that he's not literally will not hit a home run this year. Fine. Where is the offense coming from?
Right.
It has to come from somewhere. You can't have all these guys that don't hit in this lineup and then tell me that this team is going to score enough runs to win a championship.
Yeah,
and that still continues to be what my problem is with this team. I don't see where the offense is coming from for them to really make me feel that they're going to go to the next level this year.
Because you have to figure, right? Again, not being negative. You want to take what we've seen so far. The Yankees are 20-8. They're the best team in baseball. That is
no. The
amazing.
Mets are okay. Okay, the Mets are okay.
Are they? They have a better winning percentage now.
No, we have to say that. Okay, because then people will get triggered. Okay.
It's the Mets. Okay. So I'm not sitting here trying to say like, oh, we need to worry about shit.
No, we do need to worry about shit.
But this is also a very, very, very long season with a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Okay. And we have to prepare for those. And from what we saw now over the last few games, it's that when this team isn't in sync at the plate, it's a very, very lethargic offense. And you, in the long run, can't always depend on the pitchers to throw shutouts or to only give up one run.
No.
Like that's going to change. And then beyond that, when you get into the playoffs, you're facing the best pitching in the league. And you need to figure out ways to get on base. One thing I will say about the Yankees so far is that regardless of some, at bats that resulted in outs when you thought maybe there was a couple good pitches they could have hit, the Yankees have been extremely patient at the plate. And I like their approach much more than I have in the last handful of years.
Okay.
So I think that's a good sign for sure.
So you hate Marcus Timms, okay?
I actually love Marcus Timms. I just don't think he was a good. I don't think he was a good.
All right, so we got a few comments to read on the poll here. Let me put my phone down. All right, here we go. Joe, our boy Joe, Time Isville Maddox says Gallo is a hole in the lineup, a strikeout waiting to happen. If he were hitting home runs and walking more consistently, it wouldn't be that bad, but he isn't even doing those things. His approach at the plate is horrendous. To him, I say, and he has a gif of the drop. Do you know the drop?
No.
Yeah. Come on, Chris.
Oh, get the fuck out.
Gold.
Yeah, got it.
All right.
That's hilarious.
I thought you meant to drop him.
Okay. Our teammate here, Francis Lee, wants to get in on the action here. He says, I get it. We're not getting offense from the catcher's position, but what those two have done on the other side of the ball is more valuable to a championship team, which is fair. And we just talked about that. If that's what you're getting, then we have no problem with that. And then he says, Hicks, however, I don't know, man. The guy's been an automatic out with runners in scoring position, but then there's Gallo. You need to upgrade one of those.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's too many. Like, if you want to, again, concede the shortstop position to just defense, catcher, fine. But then you can't have two outfield positions that are also automatic outs. It just doesn't work. And thank God Gleyber Torres has come up in big spots, because if he wasn't, then he's proven over the last couple of years that he's an automatic out too. And the Yankees are playing him a lot. Okay, and then you got Josh Donaldson, who's not hitting too. So it just keeps adding up.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson. Okay. And then Ronnie here thinks that we speak Spanish. We don't. Okay. So that
can you hit translate tweet?
Okay. I did, and it doesn't translate. Okay.
So
it doesn't
maybe
translate.
No hablo.
And then Mike here is like, make a move for Juan Soto. Yeah, because that's just that fucking easy.
Right. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because there was just an article released yesterday about how bad Jason Dominguez has been. Okay, so that's fucking fantastic.
How about
and
Volpe?
Anthony and Volpe's been pretty shitty in Double-A. So again, I mean, we don't have to go deep down this road here, but when people were ripping me last year, when I said that I was going to, that if I had the opportunity to trade Dominguez to rent Max Scherzer for a playoff run, that I would do it. And we both said it. Okay.
I started it. Okay.
Who had it first? Okay.
I did.
Okay. He had it first.
Okay.
That we would do it. People thought we were fucking nuts and wanted to fight us. And Ryan's petting his cat.
Pussy. His pussy.
My pussy.
Okay. So this is why when you're a team in a championship window, you don't hold back for prospects. The kid was 16 years old, never played professional baseball. He's the next Mickey Mantle.
Which dude, just because he's off to a bad start and we're not saying we're giving up.
No,
all we're saying is
he's done.
No, he's not done.
Yes, he's done because what? This is the Yankees. Okay, this is the Yankees.
True. If either of those guys fail, it's not even their fault anymore. It's the Yankee organization, because I can't. If you just go back and you look at the evidence of all the top prospects this team has had in the last since 2016, every single it's almost not even possible for all of these guys not to pan out the way they were supposed to.
2016, you could go back to what, 2006, 2007 with the Jabba years and all those guys.
Well, yeah, that was another stretch of
It's
the
been a
killer
lot.
bees.
They're top prospects of the last 2 decades, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Aaron Judge, who has really even come closer to our potential?
No one.
Okay, so, but let's not sign one of 7 All-Star. And I don't care what Simeon's doing. I don't care what Seager's doing. Their numbers are atrocious. Carlos Correa
has been bad as well.
I mean, Story's been a fucking utter disaster. But it's not the result. It's the decision. The decision not to go after these guys because of Anthony Volpe. Oh, we got Anthony Volpe.
Right.
Oh.
Nah, yeah, I agree.
And again, yeah, the kid can turn it around, and he seems to be hitting a little bit better of late from what I've been able to gather. But still, if you are an elite level prospect, there's somebody that should be that people think could take over in 2023. You don't get out of the gate slow in Double-A. I'm sorry,
you can't.
And we'll shout out Brad Jewis. It's Jewis, okay, not Jewish. Okay. Jewis, okay. He says, I can live with the production from the catcher, but Hicks has got to go ASAP. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, fair.
Everybody hates Hicks. What was that show? Everybody hates Raymond?
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond. Everybody hates Chris.
Okay.
Everybody
hates Hicks. So, I mean,
the sticks.
I thought we were relatively not negative in this episode. We said very nice things about Nestor Cortes. We said that we liked Aaron Boone, some of his decisions. We were happy with Gerrit Cole. It's just the offense. The offense is going to continue to be, I guess, the weak link of this team until they do something about it.
Yeah.
Well, just because the team's 20-8 doesn't mean that you can't have your concerns moving forward. Just like when they started 9-14 last year, 11-14, we sat here on the same show. You can go back to the episodes.
Go back
and said, guys, it's only been 25 games. Relax. Is it a great start? No, it sucks. Is there a lot to be concerned about? Sure. But it's still early. Same thing applies here, man. It's a great start. This team has performed. They're 20-8. You can't sit here and complain about their results so far, but you can still look at this and see where it's headed. And say that if we're going to be a serious team and continue this throughout the year, there's some shit that's going to have to change for sure.
Do you like peanut butter?
It depends, dude. I got to be honest.
Are you creamy or chunky?
Growing up, always creamy.
Yeah,
but I don't mind a good chunk here and there now.
I figured you like the cream.
I don't mind a good chunk once in a while.
I like it in the fridge. I like it in the fridge.
You eat it straight out of the jar. You got to put it on something.
Fuck yeah, I'll eat it straight out of that jar.
That's the only way to eat peanut butter. People are like, "Oh, I got to put on crackers."
I
Fuck
got
you,
no. I gotta
bougie,
say,
bougie dog.
peanut butter on like apple would be my number one way to eat peanut butter.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be like my number 3 or 4.
I'm just killing time right now. I'll look something up here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I had some peanut butter before we came on.
Well, was it creamy or chunky?
No, it's super chunk, dog. I don't even fuck around with chunky. I go super chunk.
That's just too much chunk. Kind of throws me off a little bit. It's kind of
Yeah.
too much going on in there.
No, you gotta love the chunk. Okay. So the Yankees are gonna
I live for
wrap
the
up.
chunk.
The Yankees are gonna wrap up this homestand here with 2 against the Toronto Blue Jays. 7:05 on a Tuesday. Sevy's gonna pitch against Kikuchi, and then it's a 12:35 Wednesday game. Berrios against Jameson Tyone. Okay.
I was supposed to see Nestor.
The Yankees are going to miss Manoah. I mean, I fucking hate that guy so much. I can't
I don't
stand
like
him.
him. I don't like him. He's
I
good.
don't like him. I don't like him.
Though. I think
he's good.
Too much. He's over the top.
I hate guys that are good, dominate your team, and they're pricks too. Like
Yeah.
he's got like the trifecta.
You're right,
Yeah.
man.
And I don't want to hate Vlad Jr. because he's so fucking good, dude. I really
You loved his dad so much too.
loved him. I loved his dad so much. He was always one of my favorite players. It pains me to see what kind of a fucking idiot he is on the field. Really, it does. Because I don't want to hate him. I want him to be one of those guys I only hate because he kills the Yankees.
Does Bichette have the most punchable face in baseball?
No, there was someone else that I thought of.
Straw has a pretty punchable fucking face.
Straw definitely does.
Yeah,
Bo
but he's
Bichette might too.
Yeah, but he's a fucking jabroni, you know. At least Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette is a good baseball player. You know, like who the fuck is Miles Straw?
The whole fucking infield had a former all their dads fucking played over there. Toronto. I honestly really liked Vlad Jr. until that last play of the last series when he made that really nice scoop at first. It was he celebrated a little too much, and it was kind of like, dude, all right, like you're clearly doing this because of what happened the night before.
But it's Canada, bro. It's Canada.
Yeah,
it is Canada, dude. You got to celebrate a little harder up there because you don't got much to celebrate about.
This is going to actually be our last live show for a few weeks because the Yankees are playing the next 2 Mondays. Their next off day is actually Memorial Day. So we'll have to figure out what we want to do for recording on Memorial Day. So this is going to be our last live show. We're going to go back to Sunday night recordings. So there'll be premieres on Monday. They won't be live shows. And then, for anybody that listens on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it'll be out Monday morning. So that's just a little preview of what's happening here. I don't know if you guys want to go live on Memorial Day. You think that would be fun?
Can I be drunk?
Yeah, you can be drunk. The fuck do I care?
Let's get fucking hammered on a pod soon.
You want to do like an afternoon get fucked up Memorial Day live pod?
Yeah, let's do that.
That could possibly happen. Yeah.
That could possibly happen.
We have to make a drinking game. We have to make a drinking game out of it. Maybe Michael K-ism drinking game while we watch.
Oh
no, but there's no game on the Yankees.
Yeah, they don't play on
Memorial Day and 4th of July.
They're off.
Like, who does that?
Oh fuck! That's why they need to get the schedule makers back. They need the fucking married couple to come in.
Yeah,
get some heart back.
95-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after Toronto, the Yankees are going to go for 4 against Chicago. That's going to be a nice test for them, and then we'll record the White Sox, and then we'll record after the White Sox series concludes. So that's the next time you'll hear from us. So thank you very much for listening to episode 281. Anybody that was in the chat, anybody that stayed with us throughout the course of the show, thank you very much for watching and your support. You guys got anything you want to say? Anything you feel like you got to get off your chest here before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I just have one quick thing.
Oh, here we go. Oh boy, here it comes.
You want to grow the sport, right? Like that's all we've heard from Manfred and everyone. They want to grow the sport. So
I usually take Cialis if you want to grow it.
You want? Yeah,
yes, I take Cialis.
You gotta play hard. You want to grow the sport, right? You want to fucking get more people into baseball with all your stupid, ways and strategies. And then you have the Yankees not playing on Memorial Day and 4th of July. Are you fucking out of your mind?
And
does that
4th of July?
Yes.
That's atrocious.
Atrocious. This sport is the leaders of Major League Baseball are so.
They are playing Labor Day. I checked.
Okay.
Oh, okay. At least we didn't lose Labor Day.
Well, at least we didn't lose Labor Day, right?
Okay. And thanks for everyone for sticking around all night. We appreciate it.
All right, so follow us at NYYST_podcast. Thank you very much for your continued support of the show. SGR.
Go Yanks!
Chris, say goodbye.
Before it hits the front page.